Good morning, Ashley B. Good morning, babies. Good morning. TT's having a hard time this morning. She done lost her glasses some damn where. Okay, I done lost my glasses somewhere, y'all. I don't know where my glasses are today. Okay, I don't know where my glasses are. Oh, looky. Look what I found, girls and boys. Look what I found. Good morning. K Sunflower, Shell Williams, Gemini Empress, Carol Ruffin, Ashley B. Good morning. KK, good morning. Good morning, my babies. How y'all doing this morning? How's everybody doing this here beautiful morning? Did anyone have trouble connecting in the Zoom last night? We didn't have a Zoom last night, babies. I put on the community board that I had to cancel the Zoom last night because I couldn't get in. I was driving and I set up the Zoom on my phone and I didn't download Zoom to my phone and I couldn't get in either. So I apologize to y'all for that. We're going to go forth with our regular scheduled Zoom tonight, girls and boys. Congratulations on everybody that made it through the 3-day fast. Today is our last day. I've been getting some beautiful testimonies from people. I got somebody call me this morning to tell me that they got the job that they wanted and the pay that they wanted just out of this fast. So it's some beautiful things going on this morning, girls and boys. Empress Mode with Lynette. Good morning, my love. Listen here, y'all. I just want to give a shout out to all of y'all who took the time out yesterday to make my birthday special. It was amazing. Thank you for everybody that sent money, everybody that sent gifts, everybody that sent love. Thank you. My birthday yesterday was absolutely amazeballs. Absolutely amazeballs. So I thank y'all from the bottom of my heart for yesterday. I thank you. Y'all hold on one second. Let me see here. That's okay. It's okay. It's all right. All right, girls and boys. Day 58. Day 3 of the fast. Day 58 of the challenge. How's everybody doing this morning? Where's everybody at? How y'all feeling? How y'all doing? How's y'all make it through the challenge? This is the last day for the 3-day fast. People said they've been getting downloads, all kinds of stuff. So I'm very proud of you guys for that. Very, very proud. TT was tired this morning though. Woo, the birthday girl then got the partying caught up with her. Okay, the partying caught up with the birthday girl. Okay, that's all I got to say. The partying caught up with me. So we gonna get in here this morning. We're gonna make it do what it do, girls and boys. We're gonna make it do what it do, okay? We're gonna make it do what it do. All right, Olivettes, good morning. All of y'all get up in here. Phoenix 37. TT's working on your stuff. You're gonna be happy. Okay, all right, girls and boys. Let's get in here this morning. Let's see what Daddy got to say to us. Let's not put this off this morning. Let's see what day 58 of this amazing self-love, self-challenge, where is it taking us this morning? Let's find out. Where is this challenge taking us this morning? All right, here we go. Okay, thank you, Holy Spirits, archangels, ancestors, and spirit guides. We come to you on this morning, Holy Spirits, asking for complete clarity and understanding on day 58 of this beautiful self-love, self-transformation challenge. At this time, Holy Spirit, I ask that there's less of me and more of you, and I ask that these messages are brought to us through the Holy White Spirits and the Holy White Spirits only. Amen, amen, and amen. Okay, here we go, girls and boys. Let's keep it. Drum roll, please. Drum roll, please. Okay, let's see where this foolishness is about to take us. All right, here we go. What's our message for today, Holy Spirit? That one flew out at us. That one flew. Oh my God, y'all not gonna believe the car we got today. Nobody's gonna believe the car we got today. I'll tell y'all what. If anybody can guess what today's card is, I'm sending a $25 cash app. Y'all go ahead. Everybody start guessing what is today's card. If anybody gets it right, I'm going to give out a $25 cash app. Damn, Shell Williams. Phoenix says self-sabotage. Anybody else want to give it a try? I see 2 answers so far. New Don Cummins. Okay. 2 people. Come on. Anybody else? Anybody else want to guess? Ashley B. Okay, wait a minute. All right, hold up. Too many of y'all got it right. I can't send all of y'all $25. Stop. Okay, it's back home. Shell Williams got it right. Olivette got it right. New Don Cummins got it right. Olivette got it right. Yes, babies, we going back home today. The home card came out. Lord, have mercy, Jesus. Lord, have mercy, Jesus. We going back home. Okay, we going back home today. Oh, Lord, Lord, Lord. Shell says, send me my coins. I got you, Shell. I got you. She said, send me my damn coins. Okay, we already announced the winner, y'all. We already announced it. All right, so, my God, okay? My God is all I can say. All we can do is go back. So all we can do is go on back home and make it do what it do. We got to go on back home this morning. Whew, Lord have mercy. All right, y'all. We going home. If y'all got your bags packed, because we on our way home, okay? Do y'all have y'all's bags packed? Because Lord have mercy. It's day 58, and we getting ready to go back home. Lord have mercy. All right, let me get my corresponding cards for today, and then we're going to go on and jump into this here message. Lord have mercy, Jesus. We keep going home. Yep. Somebody said they never unpacked, just made it home last night. No, Phoenix, not that home, baby. Not that home. Not that home. We're talking about your childhood home. Okay, we're talking about that childhood home. All right, Holy Spirit. Wow. Lord have mercy. What you want to talk about today with this message? What is it? What's the message that goes along with today's message? And home flew out the deck, y'all. It ain't like it fell out. It flew out. Like Spirit said, yep, that's it. Take that one. Unbelievable. What's the corresponding messages, Holy Spirit? What messages do you want to go along with today's message, Holy Spirit? What other cards do you want to pull for today's message? What other cards, Holy Spirit, do you want to pull for today's message? What goes with today's message? There it is. Wow. Wow. All right, y'all. So, along with the home card, it said communication is key. Communication is key. So, let's read it. Let's get into this message and see where Spirit is taking us this morning. Okay. I should ask one of y'all to read this card because as many times as we've had it, somebody out there ought to be able to recite this card verbatim. But I'm going to go ahead and read it. How do you keep recreating home? Okay, that's the question. In the context of this teaching, let's use the word home to describe your unconscious ability to attract intimate partners with the positive and negative qualities your parents instilled in you. This card honors the wounded child in you that keeps recreating home, hoping to get your childhood developmental codependency needs met. You might even provoke the others to act or even look like your original parents. In a world where so many of our natural emotions were not encouraged and worse yet suppressed, you are now encouraged to feel the feelings trapped inside you that constantly sabotage your life. For some of us, home was an amazing, empowering, and happy place, but for the most of us, it was lacking and there was unease and hurt. This is imprinted on your nervous system, which forces the dysfunction you had with your parents to rise to the surface with your current partner and people you are close to. Okay. I don't even know, like, I'm waiting for Spirit to just kind of come in here this morning because I'm confused. I'm really confused as to where to even take this message this morning. Y'all keep recreating home. Y'all keep recreating home. Y'all keep recreating home. Okay, so listen, y'all. I got to go back. I got to try to give some examples this morning. I got to try to come up with something this morning to make y'all understand what going home means and what you're supposed to do when you go home. So we did inner child healing on the first week of this challenge. We did an inner child healing where we all went back home to figure out the things that we learned at home that's no longer serving us. So let's talk about that for a minute because the message that's coming to me real strong right now that Spirit wants to talk about this morning is the things that we learned at home from our parents. Okay, that's the message for the home this morning. I know a lot of times when he sent us back home, it was to go home and unpack, leave some of the baggage behind. Today's home is about figuring out what we learned from home. What did your parents teach you about relationships? What did your parents teach you about money? What did your parents teach you about success? That's what we got to. This is where he's taking us this morning, because communication is key. Card fell out. So that's telling me that somewhere in this situation, you're not communicating exactly what it is you want. And so therefore you're not getting it. And I think that you may have learned at home to dummy yourself down, maybe not ask for what it is you really want and accept what's handed to you. And that's what I feel like the message. He's going to come in here and give it completely to me. I'm just a little bit confused right now because I'm trying to figure out exactly where he wanted to take this morning. But what did you learn at home? What did we learn at home? Let's talk about that for a second. I know for me, let's talk about me and another beautiful person in this group. We had a conversation about this yesterday, about what we learned at home, and we talked about how we learned and we saw fighting at home. We saw our parents fighting each other. We saw our fathers beating the hell out of our mothers, and in our mind, we said to ourselves, "That's never going to happen to me. I'm never going to have a man that treats me like that." And we didn't have that experience for a long time, but eventually it did come to us. And we talked about that. We was like, how did that happen when we were so adamant about never attracting a man that would hit us? How did that eventually happen? It's because it's been instilled in our mind as a normality. Okay, it's been instilled in our mind as a normality. So fighting became a norm for us. Are y'all following what I'm saying? Fighting became a norm for us. So when we grow up and have relationships where there's abuse and there's fighting, it doesn't seem abnormal to us because that's what we learned from at home. Okay, so it's the same thing. This is the things that we got to look at and ask ourselves, is the things that I've seen with my parents in my childhood, are those the things that I want to continue to carry around with me as my norm? Now I see where Spirit is taking this message this morning. What is your norm, and do you maybe need to change your norm? Okay, this is what Spirit is saying this morning. Some things became a normality to us that's really a tragedy. Okay, to see a child to have to witness their parents getting beat on every day is not a good thing. Okay, that is messing that child's mental up in so many ways, because now this child is relating pain to love. This child is now relating abuse to love. This child is now thinking that when you cuss your partner out, it's okay, you still love them. So these are the things that we need to go back home and then do this time. I know before we went back home to visit the little child in us to find out what we were still carrying. Now it's time to find out, what did we learn from our parents at home? What did they instill in us? How did they make us feel that's messing us up today? That's what we got to do. Again, you enter this. Let's just break it all down. Let's start with relationships, okay? You and your mother and father's relationship was extremely codependent and very dysfunctional. Okay, perhaps your mother was the breadwinner and your daddy was the drug dealer. Okay, he was out there dealing in drugs, not selling them, but actually taking drugs. And your mother had to be the breadwinner. She had to be the man and the woman of the house. And now you've grown up thinking that that's okay. And when men come to you who are codependent in that way, you're okay with those people being in your life because it is your norm. And Spirit has said it's time for you to take a look at your normalities and figure out which ones need to go. That's where we at this morning. Okay, so let's say that your mother talked very bad to you and told you what you couldn't do and what you would never be. Okay, so you grow up thinking you wasn't shit. And so you grew up looking for approval from everybody because you always wanted approval from your mother and you never got it. So you go around in your relationships codependently looking for people to make you feel wanted, needed, and respected. When that has to come from the inside, babies. That has to come from the inside. Even though you may not have received it at home, doesn't mean that that's the position. That does not have to become your norm. Okay, that does not have to become your norm just because that's what you learned at home. Okay, they're saying that yes, a lot of us learned stuff at home that wasn't good. So now what is it that we need to change? Okay, what is it that we need to change? Okay, come through right now. Okay, so let's talk about money. Let's talk about money for instance. Okay, did you see your parents struggling all the time trying to make ends meet? Did you always hear them say, "Oh, we can't afford that. Money don't grow on trees," and you got that kind of stuff ain't for us. That's rich people stuff right there. Did you hear that as a child? Because maybe if you heard that as a child, being broke and the spirit of lack has become your norm. That has become your norm now. So Spirit is telling us to go home today for a different reason. And this is a good reason, I feel, because we need to leave behind the things that we learned as a norm and start changing what a norm looks like to us. Okay? That's not a good norm when you're seeing people fighting and fussing and constantly going at each other's head. That is not the normalities of life that you want to live under. Okay, what kind of spirits did they give you? Did they give you a Jezebel spirit and having your mama go out and having lots of sex and bringing lots of men home and gave you a Jezebel spirit to make you think that that's the norm in life, that you're supposed to have multiple partners and never commit to anybody? You're just out there sexing away. Did you learn that at home? Okay, what did you learn at home as a norm that is no longer serving you in your span of life today? What are those norms that need to be changed? That's what Spirit is saying to us this morning. We all got some normalities that need to be changed, okay? There's, oh, wow. All right, so, oh my God. I'm really trying to bring this message home this morning, y'all. I'm really trying to bring it home. I'm trying to find examples to give y'all because examples seem to work. We seem to relate to examples, but you got to look at what you learn at home because there are some things that we learn from our parents that we need to drop. There's some behavior patterns. There's some codependency patterns. There's some emotional problems that we learn at home that needs to be set free. That's what home is about this morning. Yes, we got the home card again, but in a different context because he's not sending us home to deal with the inner child this time. He's sending us home to examine what we learned there. What did we learn at home? What was the things at home that's still blocking you today? What is self-sabotaging you? What is it? What is it? What are the traditions and the things that you learned that became a norm to you? My grandparents were married for over 30 years. They were married my entire life, okay? And I grew up in the house with them, and I never, ever, ever saw my grandparents share the same bed. My grandmother had a bedroom, and my grandfather had a bedroom. And not once did I ever see them touch each other, kiss each other, be intimate with each other. I never saw that. So in my mind, it became a norm for two people to live in the house as roommates and call themselves husband and wife. But I did not adapt that as a normality for me because that never made sense to me. I never understood my grandparents doing that. So that was a normality that I made a decision as a young child to not adapt that normality into my system. But there's things that we do see. My grandfather beat on my grandmother just like my father beat on my mother. So all of these beatings and all this abuse that I saw from relationships made me start to believe that relationships equaled abuse. They equal physical abuse, mental abuse. That's what I started to adapt as my normality because I saw too much of it. I saw too much fighting with spouses and people who supposed to love each other. So as a result, I started attracting the same type of people, unconsciously attracting the same type of man. I vowed that I would never have a man to hit on me. And I fought men all my life for my sisters to keep them off my sisters. And they used to say, oh, that big sister Sherry is crazy. Y'all don't want to mess with her. And I just thought I was covered from ever having to be in a situation like that because I thought I was bad. I thought, oh, if you touch me, it's going down. Until I met my match. I met a man who I bucked up to him and he almost killed me. So what I'm saying is that when you see these things and they get imprinted on your mental, they're going to happen to you regardless of if you are asking for them to happen or not. It is because it has been instilled in your system and has become a normality for you. So whether you know it or not, you are subconsciously attracting the same energy that you are running from. Wow, did y'all hear that one? We are attracting unconsciously. We are unconsciously attracting the very energy that we are running from. Unbelievable. We are unconsciously attracting the very energy that we're running from. How do I know that? Because again, I'm watching the patterns develop. I saw myself say it to myself, never will I have a man like this. Never will I be beat like this. Never will I stay in a marriage like this. And then yet, inevitably, that situation was brought to me because I was subconsciously drawing my norm to me. Does that make sense to y'all? You subconsciously draw your norm to you, whether you think you're doing it or not. You are subconsciously doing it. That's what you're doing, okay? So Spirit is saying, check yourself because y'all wrecking yourself out there. Go home and figure out, go home and examine your childhood life, okay? We already know about the pains and all of that, but this time we're going home to figure out, what did I see as a child that's still affecting me? Okay, I grew up with a bunch of alcoholics in my family. My grandfather was an alcoholic. My father was an alcoholic. He drank. He overindulged in drugs. It was just so much substance and alcohol abuse around me that became a norm for me. I didn't flinch when I saw people who were like that because that became a norm for me. Other people that would see people getting drunk and getting high off drugs like that, that's not used to that would trip them out. They would flee and run from that because it would scare them. But it did not scare me because it had become a norm for me. And we got to figure out, what have we adapted as normalities consciously and subconsciously to figure out what we need to clear out once we go home. Because God is sending us back home again. And that is because we are still subconsciously dragging around ideals and ways that don't serve us anymore. Okay, things that we learned subconsciously as a child is still affecting us. And that's the things that we need to go look at this morning. That's the things that Spirit is sending us back home to go examine, is what normalities are you still carrying around that don't serve you anymore? What are those normalities? What are those normalities that don't serve you anymore? Communication is key, people. Communication is key to you finding out the things that you need to let go of. Communication, okay? It's because some of us are afraid to communicate what we've been through. Some of us are afraid to communicate our true feelings when it comes to things. What are you afraid of? Why are you afraid to communicate? What is it that makes you afraid to open your mouth and speak your truth? What did you learn at home that makes you think you cannot speak your truth? Were you always touched when you tried to speak your truth? Were you told no, your opinion didn't matter? And so now as an adult, you still think your opinion doesn't matter and you just choose to hold back because that's what you learned as a normality? We got to go back home and examine, what normalities did I learn as a child that I'm still carrying around in my adult life that's no longer serving me? What is it that I'm still carrying around that's not serving me? What did my parents tell me over and over again that's still carrying in my subconscious mind? See, we have stuff going on in our subconscious, while on the surface it looks like we've conquered these things. It looks like we've mastered these things, but subconsciously you still stuck back in those days where you learned these normalities that don't serve you. It's the subconscious mind that we have to be cognizant of, y'all, because that is where our memory lays, and our memory is our greatest component. If you did not remember your hurts and your pains, you wouldn't be afraid to move into certain situations. We get afraid to move because we've been hurt, because we experience pain, we experience disappointment, we experience things that we didn't like. So we keep those memories in our mind, and the next time a similar situation pops up, subconsciously we go back to the failures. We go back to the things that didn't work for us instead of staying in the present moment and giving this opportunity a new chance chance because this opportunity has never hurt you. This opportunity doesn't know you. This opportunity is brand new. So it doesn't deserve to have the same tags that the old baggage had. You need to give the new luggage a new opportunity to do a better job for you. And you need to accept that whatever you've been through in the past, you learned from it. And if that situation presents itself to you again, you are now equipped with the proper knowledge to come out of this a victor and not a victim. You have been equipped with knowledge. When you go through situations and you mess them up, you get the opportunity to see what should have been done right. So the next time this situation comes up, you don't do the same thing that you've always done. You do it the new way. You get rid of the subconscious beliefs that you're going to fail, that it's not going to work out for you, that you're not good enough, you're not worthy. You get rid of those subconscious beliefs and you bring to the surface your power, your passion, your love, and it will overcome the darkness. But it is you that has to activate the light. You got to activate the light. The light just don't come on, baby. You got to flip the switch. You got to flip the switch to your life. You got to turn off those dark emotions that keep you stuck, keep you feeling unworthy, keep you feeling rejected, keep you feeling like you're not good enough. Because what y'all don't understand is those subconscious beliefs are drawing to you the very thing that you say you don't want. It is your subconscious feelings and beliefs that keep drawing to you the same situations that you are running from. I hope y'all hearing this message this morning because it done got real up in here this morning, okay? It done got real up in here this morning. We have to ask ourselves, why do I keep running into the same people, the same problems? All of y'all are dating the same person over and over again. Yes, sure, the name might change, the face changes, the body physique changes, whatever, but the mental is the same. You keep dating the same narcissistic person over and over again. Why? Because in your subconscious, you believe that's all you deserve. You believe that that's all you're worth. Because you have somehow related this pain that this person is presenting to you to something that you learned at home. Some type of normality that you formed at home is causing you to let toxic people into your life and stay there. Because it's okay to let somebody toxic in because you didn't see it. But once you see it, you're supposed to let go of that person and walk away. Once you know better, you're supposed to do better, babies. Once you know better, you're supposed to do better. You're supposed to do better. Okay, so at the end of the day, we got to ask ourselves, what am I pulling up? What's in my subconscious beliefs that's got me feeling like I need a man that doesn't serve me, or a woman that doesn't serve me, or a job that doesn't serve me, or friends that don't serve me? Communication is key. Spirit said when you're in situations where there's not an equal give and take, where you're giving more than you're receiving, speak up and say something to the person. And if that person continues to be on an unequal scale with you, you balance the scale by bouncing. Did you hear what I said? When you find out that you're in a relationship with anybody, whether it's romantic, familiar, friendship, it doesn't matter. When the scales are unbalanced and you communicate to this person what it is you need, if they still refuse to give it to you, you balance the scale by bouncing. That's how you balance that scale. Bounce, baby. Because anytime you in a situation where there's more of you giving and them taking, it's time to go. It's time to go, because that person doesn't realize your worth. That person doesn't realize who you are. That person is merely using you because you gave yourself away based on those normalities that you learned at home. Okay, because at home, you learned that you must give love to your abusers. You learned that you must give love to people who cuss you out and make you feel bad. So you grow up in those relationships and you start thinking, well, my mama cussed me out and called me bitches, so it's okay if this man calls me a bitch. He still loves me because my mama called me bitches and she still loved me. So it's okay if this man calls me a bitch. See, that's a normality that you have adapted that you need to let go of. No matter how many bitches and hoes your mama called you, you need to understand that she was extremely dysfunctional and needed some therapy really bad. But you do not grow up thinking that it's normal for people to call you bitches and hoes. Especially people who say they love you. That is not a norm that you should adapt. So we got to examine the normalities that we have adapted in our life and ask ourselves, is this still working for me? Does this normality match the new me that I'm trying to be? Can I bring these old norms into my new reality? I'm changing myself. I'm going through this self-love, self-transformation challenge because I want to be different. I want to grow. I want to come out of the old normalities that I've adapted. So in order for me to do that, I've got to examine what I have accepted in my life as a norm and ask myself, how did I get here? How did I accept people walking over me, people treating me like shit, people disrespecting me? How did I adapt that as a norm? How did I adapt that as a norm? Because that is not normal for people to disrespect me. It's not normal for people to talk about me behind my back. It's not normal for people to not support me and not celebrate me. That's not normal for me anymore. It's not normal for me anymore. And from this day forward, Spirit, I want my normality to be respect. I want my normality to be equal give and take. I want my normality to be equal love, equal loyalty. Okay, that's what it's all about. When people match your energy, that's when you keep them in your life. When they match the same thing you doing for them, it's an equal give and take. Both of y'all are loyal to each other, loving on each other. That's when you stay. But when the situation is unbalanced, baby, you bounce. Stop letting people give lip service to how they feel about you and make them walk the walk. Fuck the talk. They walk the walk. Okay, you can tell me you love me, but if you're putting your hands on me and calling me bitches and hoes, I don't know how that can equal to love. How am I taking beatings and being cussed out and making that equal love? How does beatings and verbal abuse equal love? How does cheating on me equal love? How does putting me in a third party equal love? How does you talking about me, you and I are friends, but when you get off the phone with me, you call somebody else and talk about the very secrets I just shared with you? How is that friendship? How is that a true ride or die friendship? We giving titles to people who don't fucking deserve it. Okay? Oh, that's my ride or die. Baby, you ride out with that bitch, you sure gonna die. Because she gonna ride off away from you and you gonna be left by yourself. And she's shown you that a million times, but in your mouth, you still keep calling her, oh, that's my best friend, my best friend. Oh, that's my girl, that's my everything, that's my this, that's my that. Baby, go get in a fight and see how fast your bestie is there to help you. See what your bestie does for you. Your bestie will stand right there with the spectators and watch you get your ass beat and won't lift a finger for you. And you know that about this person, but yet you keep giving these people titles they do not deserve. Okay? You keep giving people titles they do not deserve. Oh, this is my man. How is he your man? Susie's man, Debbie's man, Becky's man, Karen's man. He's all these people's man. You know that because you know he's cheating on you. You seen the text messages. You see how he ain't never got time for you. How all he got for you is hot dick, never no bubble gum. How is that love? How is that love? I'm asking y'all today to examine the relationships and the situationships in your life and see if they equal love. If they don't equal love, baby, it's time to bounce. Because you learned some bullshit at home that's still following you around that is no longer serving you. Spirit said, take y'all's ass back home and go back and watch what did your parents instill in you. All this lack mentality. Oh, money's hard to come by. Money don't grow on trees. That's a lack mentality that we take into our adulthood and we find ourselves constantly chasing money instead of the bag chasing us. Baby, money is an energy. And as long as you spend it and don't worry about where the next high is going to come back to you, it continues to flow. It's an energy that will flow. But if you put this tension around around that energy about how you never have enough money, how you can't do certain things because you don't have money. Money is an energy. It will stay away from you because you are putting out to the universe that money doesn't flow to you. It's your subconscious beliefs that recreate your reality. It's your subconscious beliefs that create your reality. So it's time for y'all to dig deep and find out what your norms have become. And just, again, you cannot equate this abuse to love. Abuse is abuse. If you're in a relationship with somebody and they're not uplifting you and making you feel like the queen or the king that you are, you need to bounce. Stop making excuses. Stop ignoring the red flags that you see with these people that you say, oh, they love me. I'm in love with them. We getting married. We doing this. We moving in together. Okay, so if you're moving in together, why are you having to make the move by yourself first? Because he's setting you up, boo-boo. He's setting you up. So don't take these norms and start putting them into your life because you're going to wreck yourself. You're going to wreck yourself. Stop doing things and convincing yourself in your head. You see all the red flags, but you keep convincing yourself that that's not what you see because your normality has taught you to ignore the red flags. Don't do it, babies. Don't do it. Don't ignore the red flags. Please don't ignore the red flags. They're out there for a reason. Some of y'all don't understand that you dig back into your subconscious minds and you pull out, that helps you make your decisions. Your subconscious mind is what helps you to make your decisions. So when all this surface shit, all this stuff we talk to our friends and everybody to make us sound good, that ain't what makes our decisions for us. What makes our decision for us is how we really feel about ourselves and the situation subconsciously. So if, again, you in a situation where you learn at home to be dysfunctional, you're going to keep being dysfunctional until you learn to let go of those normalities that no longer serve you. Got to let go of the things that no longer serve us, baby. We got to let go of the things that no longer serve us. Communication is the key. Communication is the key. Speak up. Talk about what it is you want and need to people. Don't just sit back and let people treat you however they choose to treat you. Speak up. When someone's not treating you like the king or the queen that you deserve to be treated like, you speak up. You don't sit there and let this happen because you saw that at home. You saw your mama just be quiet when daddy cussed her out, beat her up. You saw your mama be quiet when she knew daddy was molesting everybody in the house. You saw mama be quiet when she should have spoke up for you. Get out of that norm. Get out of that norm. Get out of that norm, okay? Get out of that norm. Okay? Get out of that norm. We're going to be okay up in here, y'all. We're going to be okay because we're going to go back home today and we're going to figure out what we need to, what's the norms that we learn? What did we learn at home? I know I learned a bunch of bullshit at home. I learned a bunch of bullshit at home, okay? A bunch of bullshit at home. A bunch of it. And I'm trying so hard, Lord knows I am, to try to get out of all those things that I learned because none of that shit is serving me anymore. None of it. Okay? None of it. I don't know how the hell we get to where we get as children, but we do. And I got so messed up as a child. I just got messed up. Simple as that. I got messed up. I didn't think shit of Sherry. Okay? And growing up, I heard you ain't shit. You're going to be just like your sorry ass daddy. I heard that over and over again. And for the longest time, that used to bother me. I used to try so hard not to fail, but yet I kept failing because subconsciously I believed that I wasn't shit and I was going to be just like my sorry ass daddy. Because that's what was instilled in me. Even though I was telling myself that's not going to happen, in my mind, that's what I believed because that's what had been instilled in my head, that I wasn't shit and I was going to be just like my sorry ass daddy. What did you learn? What were you told? What were you told as a child? What was the false beliefs put in your head? What is the things you still carrying around in your subconscious that no longer serve you? Riley, what's going on? That's what we got to ask ourselves this morning. What is those things? What are those things that we learn? What are the norms? What are the norms that we learned at home? It's time to let go, babies. It's time to let go. Go home. Go home. Communicate with people around you. Get what you want. Okay, get what you want. Stop letting people just give you what they think you deserve. Stop letting people breadcrumb you. Stop letting people gaslight you. Stop letting people do things to you and you know they're not right, but you sit there and you're afraid to open your mouth. You're afraid to say something to these people because you're afraid of losing them. And you need to lose them. Don't be afraid to speak up when you see that things are not being done the way they're supposed to be done in your life. Don't sit back when you see people mistreating you. Don't sit back when you see people disrespecting you. Open your mouth. And the key is communication. You got to tell people what it is you want and need because people don't know. People don't know. We can't be guessing what the hell you need or want. You got to tell me. As your friend, I want to make sure that I give you what you need because I'm your friend and I don't want to make you feel bad. I want you to feel celebrated and worshiped around me. So how can I do that? What is it that you need? And if in any way that I'm making you feel any way but worshiped and cherished, what am I doing? Speak to me. Tell me what I'm doing so that I can stop doing those things. Because you can't get mad at people because they hurt you and you don't tell them how. You can't get mad at people for that. And that's what we do. We sit back and we let people mistreat us. Then we get quietly mad. We get mad on the inside. We won't say shit to them. But we walk around with attitudes and hurting everybody else around us. But we won't say nothing to the people who hurt us. Wake up, babies. Let's wake up. Let's go home and let's examine the things that we call norms at home and come back and say, okay, this ain't working for me no more. This ain't working for me no more. I'm no longer going to have a man in my life that allows me to have, I won't have another man in my life that disrespects me. I will not have another man in my life that cheats on me. I will not have another man in my life that doesn't celebrate me and treat me like the queen that I am. When you are a queen, sweetheart, you know how queens are treated. You know how queens are treated. You know how queens are treated. And if you're not being treated like a queen, you are in the wrong relationship. If you are not being treated like a king, you are in the wrong relationship. Your partner is supposed to uplift you, support you, okay? Have your back. That partner is supposed to be that person that you can lay in the bed with and tell your deepest, darkest secrets to, and that person wouldn't dream of sharing them with anybody. That person is there to comfort you in your normalities. That person is there to support you, be loyal to you, uplift you. Okay, that's what that person is there for. And if that person is not doing that, equal out the scales and bounce. Stop staying in these relationships because you have adapted it as your normality. You saw your parents get along like this. You saw your aunties and uncles get along like this. So in your mind, this type of dysfunction has become a normality. It is not normal to live in a house with somebody and all y'all do is fuss and cuss and talk about each other and say hurtful things, break up to make up. That is not normal. Okay, it's not normal for you to be in a friendship with somebody where every time they got a problem, you right there at 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. Whenever they need to talk to you, you right there on their birthdays. You celebrate them, you uplift them, you put them on pedestals. And when it's your turn, it's crickets. You can't even get a fucking phone call for them to say happy birthday. But yet you went all out for them. And you will sit on your ass and you'll call up somebody, talk about, oh, I did all of this for them. I went all out for them. I did this, but you're the fool because why are you doing that for somebody who's not doing it for you? Why are you doing that for somebody who would not do that for you? Why? That's the question we have to ask ourselves. We find ourselves forcing people to like us, trying to force people to love us, trying to force people to accept us, trying to force people to respect us. Baby, respect is commanded because you go in and you let people know, hey, this is how it's going to be. And if it's not like this, I'm going to bounce. You're not going to treat me this way. But when you go and go, oh, it's okay. You can do whatever you want to me and say whatever. I just like being accepted. I'm just glad you let me be your friend. I'm just glad you like me as one of your options as a woman. I'm just happy for that. Because I just want to be breadcrumb. I just want to be gaslit. I just need a piece of a man to make me happy. You don't have to be all of mine. You can have Carmelicias and all of them you want. Just make me one of them, please. Because I learned at home, my normality is any man is better than no man at all. That's what my norm has become. So you come on in here with your gaslighting ass, your breadcrumbing ass, your three-partying ass. Come on in here, because that's all I know. That has become my norm. And so I'm okay with that. Bullshit. Get away from me with your breadcrumbing. Get away from me with your gaslighting. Get away from me with your third parties. Because I'm a queen. And I will not use the normalities that I learned at home to determine my life today. Did you hear what I said? I will not choose to use the normalities I learned at home to determine my life today. I will not do it. Okay, because today I know that it is not normal for a man to do those things to me. Today I know that it's not normal for my friends to do me this way. And I know how I'm supposed to be treated. And I'm not going to argue with anybody about it. You're either going to do it or I'm going to balance the scales by bouncing. Simple as that. The key is communication first, though. You can't tell somebody that they hurt you without saying ouch. You gotta say, hey, I don't like that. That right there that you did to me. I love you and I love being your friend. I love being your wife, your girlfriend, whatever I am in your life. But you're not gonna treat me like that. That's not gonna be tolerated here, boo-boo. Because if you continue to do that type of behavior to me, I will bounce. And you see where all of this comes from, y'all? This is coming from you loving yourself. Because when you love yourself, you require nothing but love from other people. And when they're not giving it to you, you don't fuss with them about it. You don't argue with them about it. You simply bounce. Bye-bye. Bounce. I'm gone. Never to return to this bullshit again. Now, if you want to come into my life, you want to be my friend, you want to treat me right, you want to come into my life, you want to be my man, you want to treat me right, you want to do me right, you want to come into my life as a job offer, you're going to pay me properly, and you're going to do me, then come forth. Please. But miss me with the bullshit. Okay? Miss me with the bullshit, because I will send your ass packing. I'm going to send your ass packing when you come at me with the BS. Miss me with the BS, please, because I'm a woman over here has learned her self-worth. I'm a woman over here that's in love with herself. Okay, and sure, there's plenty more work for me to do because I'm certainly not perfect. I'm going to be learning, loving, and going through this thing for the rest of my life. Okay, I'm always going to be a work in progress. But at the same time, I'm not going to be going backwards, and I'm not going to be adapting bullshit as my normalities. I learned who I am today. I learned what I bring to the table. I've always been an amazing friend, an amazing lover. I pour from myself to other people like crazy, almost to the point of a fault, where I'm almost draining myself trying to help other people. And if you can't appreciate that, and if you won't treat me the way I need to be treated for being that type of person, then I'm going to balance the scales by bouncing. I'm going to tell you first. I'm going to give you the opportunity by coming to you and sharing my feelings with you first. But if you choose not to see it and not to treat me the way I need to be treated, then you can best believe that I will balance the goddamn scales myself and I will bounce. I don't care how much I love you. I don't care how much I enjoyed hanging out with you. I don't care how much fun we had. I don't care about none of that. I don't care about none of that because I'm like Tina Turner. What the hell does love have to do with it? When you're disrespecting me, when you beating on me, when you are abusing me, when you cheating on me, when you gaslight me, bringing me STDs and all this other stuff. How am I supposed to take those things and have something to work with? I cannot and I will not. I'm going to balance the scales and I'm going to bounce regardless of how my feelings are for you. I might think about you every single day. I might not be able to sleep at night thinking about you. But baby, you're just going to be a distant thought as long as you think that you're going to come into my life with the disrespect. Oh, sure, I miss you. Oh, sure, I still love you. But guess what, boo-boo? I love me more than I love you. And that was the missing ingredient the whole damn time. Me not loving me. That's why I allow friends, men, women, children to disrespect me because I didn't love me. Now I love me so much that the moment I see an inch of your red flag, I'm going to balance the scales and bounce. Got to bounce, babies. Y'all got to not be afraid to bounce. Some of y'all afraid to bounce. Some of y'all afraid to walk away. And don't y'all know that walking away gives you respect? Even if that person don't respect you, you will respect yourself. Your self-esteem will be lifted because you will say to yourself, self, we did that. Okay, we did not let that person do us the way they thought they was going to do us. They had us messed up, self. But that's okay, self. We did a good job because we did not allow that. We are loving on ourselves now. Good job, self. Give yourself a hug and a kiss because you made a decision that in the past you were not able to make because you used your norms to help you make the decision. Y'all heard that? You were putting yourself in a situation where in the past you would have made the wrong decision because you would have let your normalities make the decision for you. Not practicality. Normality. We got to learn how to balance that out, y'all. We got to learn how to balance that out. And it's real simple. All y'all got to do is pay attention to the actions of others. They show you who they are. We choose to make excuses for these people. We choose to say, oh, that's not how they are. Oh, I'm just tripping. Oh, it's okay that they did that. Stop making excuses for piss-poor ass behaviors. Y'all see it, and y'all still make excuses for it. Oh, it's okay that they doing that. They doing that because of blah, blah, blah. There are no excuses for someone treating you bad. There are no excuses for someone treating you bad, guys. There's no excuses for someone treating you bad. None. Balance the scales and bounce. Okay? Balance the scales and bounce, babies. That's what you do. If they loved you, they'll be back. And if they didn't, you did yourself a favor by taking out the goddamn trash. But you don't bow down. You don't go back to your own vomit. You do not go back to your own vomit. If you released it, Spirit said, do not resuscitate. Okay, do not resuscitate bullshit because some of y'all have the power and the nerve to let it go, but then you start missing the person, you start feeling bad, start feeling guilty, and you resuscitate bullshit. You go and give life back to shit that's not ready to come back to life. Things that are not supposed to be back in your life. You go back and resuscitate it. Spirit said, do not resuscitate bullshit. Again, if the person is ready to do right by you as a friend, as a man, as a family member, they need to come back to you because they are the ones who caused you pain. They are the ones who did the things to you. Why are you going back to your own vomit and trying to resuscitate bullshit? Because when you go back to resuscitate it, it now thinks, oh, she ain't learned shit. She's still the same old person that she was. I can go back to gaslighting her ass. I can go back to disrespecting her. I can go back to how I was treating her in the beginning because she gave in to me. She's not serious about her demands. She's not serious about me respecting her. So she just gaslighting. She ain't shit. So she came back. I'm just going to keep on treating her the way I've been treating her because she gave me some threats that she didn't keep. She gave in before I did. That's how they look at y'all. So do not resuscitate bullshit. Okay, if you cut it out, leave it out. Leave it out. Let God be your decision maker as if this person is worthy to come back into your life. And if they are, you will know, your intuition will tell you that this person is on a different path now. This person is willing to be the friend that you need. This person is willing to be the sister or the brother that you need. This person is willing to be the man or the woman that you need. But you do not resuscitate bullshit. Communication is key. Communication is key. Spirit says, speak up, go home, find out what these normalities that you learned at home. What are these normalities that you learned at home? And we got some bad normalities, y'all. We especially, I don't know about other races, but as black people, we grew up with a lot of getting cussed out, getting beat with extension cords and all kinds of foolish stuff that we learned because this was the stuff that our parents learned from their parents and their parents from their parents. And we just carrying on bullshit ass traditions because it's all we know. It has become our norm. I used to think my name was Black Bitch because that's what I got called so much growing up. You little black bitch. I thought that was my name for a while. And so when other people in the streets would call me a bitch, it didn't mean shit to me because if my mama, who said she loved me and gave me life, was calling me a bitch, then other people calling me a bitch became my norm. Got to change them normalities, baby, because they not serving us no more. They're not serving us. They're not serving us. They're not walking in our self-love with us. They're not walking in our self-power with us. Those things are sending us backwards. Those things are transcending us back to the past. Those are the things that keep sending us here. It's time to let go. It's time for us to go home, find those normalities that we could adapt it as normals, and get rid of some of that stuff. Some of that stuff ain't good for us no more, y'all. Some of that stuff is not good for us no more. It's time to let go of it. It's time to let go of it. Okay? So that's where we at this morning. Going home. We're going home to get rid of those normalities that we learned. We're going home to examine what we learned, what our belief systems are. What did we get from the childhood experiences that we had? That's what we're going home to examine today. That's what we're going back home to figure out today. What did we learn that's no longer serving us? That's where we at. This has been a beautiful message. I'm not even mad about going back home this morning. I'm really not, because it's a needed message. It's even, I'm talking about, no matter how far we've come in this challenge, this was needed because this was a different reason for going back home. This wasn't the going back home to go examine and go back through the childhood pains and relive all of that foolishness. No, this trip home was for us to go home to figure out, what did our parents instill in us? What did we learn from them that's no longer serving us? Because they did some fuck shit in front of us, y'all. They did. They did some real messed up stuff around us. And they didn't do it on purpose. They didn't. So I'm not saying this for y'all to get mad and start holding grudges and being mad at your parents all over again. We've already cleared that air. So let's not conjure that back up. This time, it's about you figuring out, what did you adapt in your life as a normality? What did you adapt as a normality? Some of these things are good normalities. Like, as a child, even though I had some bad stuff to go on, I always saw some good stuff. My grandmother was a very loving, caring individual who made sure that we had hot meals every day, regardless of how much money she had. We always ate good. Christmases was beautiful around family time. Like, there was some beautiful things that I learned, but I also have to pay attention to the things that I learned that it's not serving me no more. Because it's not normal, some of the stuff that I saw in my childhood. It's not normal. Nor should I be adapting it as a normality in my life 56 years later. But sometimes we do, because it's all we know. But this is our opportunity for Spirit to say, even though it's all you know, doesn't mean that that's all there is. There's more out there. There's other choices that you can make. There's better opportunities for you out there, but you got to believe and you got to have faith that you are not in a norm. You're not stuck in a norm. Okay? You're not stuck in those old norms. Break the cycle. That's right. Break the cycle. I love y'all. I do. This is a beautiful 58-day challenge. Tonight on the Zoom, I apologize. I know a lot of y'all was saying, I couldn't get into the Zoom last night, TT. I couldn't get into the Zoom. We didn't have it last night. I couldn't get into it myself. I was driving and I was trying to log into it. Just all kind of technical difficulties. So I just canceled it and said we would have it tonight. And we're going to go through our regular Zoom tonight. This is the last day of the third 3-day challenge. I know that a lot of y'all had some breakthroughs. That's beautiful. Very beautiful. So, very proud of y'all. Very, very proud of y'all. But go home today. Go home today and look at your family's relationships. Look at your mom and dad's relationship and see what you learned from how their relationship was. Look at your relationship with you and your mother, you and your father, and see what you may have adapted as a norm that's no longer working for you anymore. Whether they instill self-doubt in you, whether they instill the fact that people could beat on you and cuss you out and still love you, whatever they instilled in you that you feel like, man, that was not normal. It's time to let go of those things. Y'all know where they were. I don't have to sit here on here and give y'all an example after example after example. You know what you went through that didn't work for you. You know it. You know it. Okay, so at this time, again, don't y'all go home conjuring up more feelings for being resentful and all that stuff. That's not what this is for. You've already gotten past the pain and the hurt, and you've understood that forgiveness is the key. You can't have bitterness. You can't still be pissed off at your parents for stuff that they did, no matter how bad it was. No matter how bad it was, the fact is that it's already happened and it ain't nothing we can do to change it. So now we got to balance the scales by bouncing away from those feelings that ain't serving us no more. So don't go home conjuring up feelings and anger and bitterness. No, go home and just do an examination. You are healed now. Sit back and look at the situation from another point of view now. Okay, sit back and look at it from another perspective. This is an examination. You are going home to examine exactly what subconscious beliefs you actually have adapted and carrying around with you that are no longer serving you. That's all this is. It's an observation for you to discover what's going on inside of you. It's not an opportunity for you to go home and get pissed off at your parents again. Let that go. Let that go, because we've already been through the art and the spirit of forgiveness and knowing that you can't keep taking poison and hoping that someone else dies. You cannot continue to take poison hoping someone else dies. So don't go home getting mad and conjuring up feelings again. Go home and feel what you felt and understand how it affected you. And then see if you can change that. Forget about the people that were involved, because this is not what this trip home is about. Okay, so anyway, I love y'all to pieces. This is your TT, the one that loves to share the tea with you, and don't tell your mama. And listen, guys, in the meantime and in between time, while you work your thing, I'm going to work mine. I enjoy spending my 9 o'clock mornings with y'all. It has become a habit. I'm wondering, what am I going to do when this challenge is over? What am I going to do? We're going to do something big and special. I don't know what that is, but it's going to be amazing. Tonight's Zoom is going to be very special. We're going to be talking about where we're going from these last 30 days that we about to come up on. We on day 58. We got 2 more days before we end up in the last 30 days of this challenge. So I'm excited. Things are beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I love y'all. Appreciate you. Thank you for taking this challenge serious. Not for me, but for yourself. Because together, we will change the world. When we change ourselves, we are doing our part in changing the world. So that's all we can do, is change this world one person at a time. How? By loving ourselves. I love y'all. And it ain't nothing you can do about it. I'll see you tonight on the Zoom. Mwah.